So I would probably start from telling you that the VC fund would look at between 100 to 200 startups per year, and then they will sit down with 10. So you as a startup, and if you have a startup company, you're looking at probably not that much conversation that you can get. If you got a sit down, as it's called, with a startup, so be prepared and expect them to look at your financials. Not only financial would they check, but then financial would be the important opening point. And we picked up, me and my team, we picked up those 10 metrics that you're gonna be asked most. And you basically have to take care of them, really careful care. You would usually, the VC would start a conversation with you from understanding your product to market fit, rather than that. And then understanding how big could be your market. So you will not do 50x or 100x if there is no market. So wherever financials you create, wherever traction you have, that's not gonna do anything if you don't have a market. So that's an important point. I would say that to create those metrics, you need a certain experience and you need to create traction first. And what we usually suggest is that you need a 1.5 years or 2 years experience, 2 years of traction to start creating those metrics. Not any VC would probably believe you if you come and say, I have a half a year traction and I have an amazing growth statistics, and they will tell you, listen, the half a year is not a huge amount of time, so please spend more time and create your traction based on a longer period of time. That would be the first suggestion. Second of all, before you speak to any of the VC funds, understand what's their target. That's a common logic, whether they invest into early stage, mid stage, later stage. So as you have to understand that for the investor, early stage investment is underwriting the risk in the product and the team. So they have to believe in you, your team, your product, and as much you need to put more effort into convincing those people. The mid-stage investor would probably more concentrated on your go-to-market strategy, whether you are able to execute. Execution and your team, in my position and my opinion, is the most important thing. Are you able to provide a daily base and operations on a daily basis and be constantly delivering your results? That's going to be an important question to you and your team. And your team is going to be evaluated at every point. CTOs, CMOs, CBDOs, IR guys, how you present, what's your pitch deck. That's going to be definitely, you definitely have to take care of that and pay closer attention. All right, so let's get to the actual presentation. So the customer feedback, we're starting with this metrics is because this is probably the only metrics that will help you to evaluate your project at the idea stage. That's how you collect. So you can do it through the surveys, you can do it from certain questionnaires on your website. If you have an idea, like on blockchain market, it's a great idea to put something on a Bitcoin talk and collect the feedback from the crowd. That would be the greatest idea you could possibly do. Evaluate your ideas before you start doing anything, man. Do not raise money before you have at least 10 or 20 opinions of the people that you believe are experienced, and they confirm that there is a product to market fit. So you in the right time, in the right position with your product. Evaluate your ideas. That would be my main point. This is more about your sales, acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. That's how people go through a sales funnel. So you have to acquire your clients somehow. So this is more about kind of marketing. You have to activate them and retain them They shouldn't be churning really fast. A churn rate, we'll get back to it. It's a really important traction metric. Is how many people canceled their subscription and what the reasoning behind it. If we're speaking about SaaS projects, but this applies not only to SaaS projects, but products, enterprise-grade solutions, B2B products, and many others. Monthly recurring revenue and annual recurring revenue and net and gross annual recurring revenue, that would be the first question you're going to be asked if you're at the seed stage or around A. That's definitely the first ever question. What's your gross potential? And they want to see the hyperbola. They want to see that you multiply it every quarter from 20 to 40, from 40 to 80, and that goes quarter by quarter. And if you can prove that you're doing that, and that's why I've started from telling you that you need more samples to create that traction. You need more time. You shouldn't be creating your traction metrics based on half a year, but rather a couple of years. And that's how you can prove that your MRR, your ARR, your recurring revenue has a growth potential, and you're doing right with your customer acquisition strategy, you're doing right with your product development and many other things. Customer acquisition cost, one of the most important metrics, how much you spend on to acquire one customer. And then that goes in line with the lifetime value. And they say that the unique formula of the success to any startup is that when your lifetime value is 3 times bigger than the CAS, than customer acquisition cost. That's a minimum to call your startup a successful at the very beginning. That's the minimum amount, minimum level. And then, just want to go back quickly to ARR. I forgot to tell you one important thing. It's called magic of 1. I've heard that from many different partners and vice presidents of different VC firms that magic number of 1 is if you spend $1 to your marketing to acquire your customer, you have to get this $1 from your revenue. So if your revenue more than 1, that's great. You can come and speak to any VC firm. If your numbers are different and you're losing more than you're acquiring, that's a complete logic. You have to take care of your numbers, and then you have to get to this magic number of 1. Lifetime value. How much your client's gonna provide you within his whole lifespan on your platform, on your product. And as I said, that the main thing that the VC firm would look at is whether you have this formula of lifetime value being 3 times more than your customer acquisition cost. It could be calculated, but you need samples. As anywhere else, you need samples, so you need time. So don't be creating your traction metrics based on 1 month of your operations. I probably said it 3 times already. ROI, for the working product and the working startup that are already generating certain growth and certain revenue, that would be the most important part. And that's probably common logic. You all worked in the fintech companies, because that's what you hear. And then you have to understand that your return on investment and your ratio between net profit and cost of your investment is a result that you're gonna get the investment. If you can convince a VC firm in your number, that's a quick path to getting the amount that you needed to develop your startup. Customer conversion rates, how many leads become your customer? That's all about your marketing. That number tells you how you're efficient with your PR and how efficient is your marketing strategy. If your marketing strategy is efficient, your numbers are probably going to be 10 to 15%. So 10 to 15% people coming to your website and leaving you some sort of their personal information, maybe just giving you email to subscribe to your updates, or giving you the number to receive a certain SMS from you on the updates of your product as well. And then whether you can convert them to buy your product, that's going to be your customer conversion rate. And then if you can convert 10% of everybody that leaves you your email, you are very successful, trust me. Daily and monthly active users is usually unique for every product and every service, and then that's a metric to understand your retention. And VC firms right now are paying more attention to your retention and to your revenues rather than to your growth potential. So before, like we got this Netflix model and we got this Uber model, when they created a business model accepting that you won't be generating any revenue within the next 5 years or within the next 10 years. And they've started with that thought that let's generate money through VC firms, let's get those investments round by round, and at one point, when we start create our own content, we're gonna be successful. And we're gonna start generating revenue finally. And then I think Netflix is gonna be generating the revenue from the next year, and Uber from 2020 as well, or it's just started generating revenue in this year. You might correct me, I might be wrong, but I'm not really precise with dates, but I'm just trying to describe a business model that allows you not to be generating revenue at the very beginning, and that you can speak about that with your potential investor, telling them, listen, this is my model. When I generate enough traction, that's when the revenue is gonna start falling down and we're gonna make profits rather than just create a revenue stream. And this metrics leads to a stickiness. Stickiness, for me, I really like that metrics because this is about emotional connection to your product. This is about usability. This is about credibility. This is about how much you can make people love what you do. I love Uber. I use it everywhere. I travel a lot. I came back from Miami yesterday, and I was using it like 17 times within 4 days. And I love what they do. So I'm really sticky to that thing. And they made it through. They made my client path so nice and so smooth that I've decided to stay with them rather than use Lyft or Grab or Uber. Even in Ukraine, when I'm here, I tend to use Uber because I like what they do, and I want to help them here as well, even though I can pay less using Uklon or Yandex Taxi, wherever. I still like what they do, and I'm going to pay them for that. Churn rate, this is what nobody likes, but this is a reality. In a normal startup, you're not going to get rid of churn rate, never. You're always going to have it. If you say my churn rate is 0, you're lying, you bullshitting me, I'm not going to believe you. The normal amount of churn rate is 3%. If you got 3% of canceled subscriptions per month, that's fine. Work on more options on your platform. Work on more like different financial plans. Work on more different programs. If you're educational program, create more educational directions. I don't know. Try to do a more divisional approach into your product, and then your churn rate, and play with that churn rate, and then you can your churn rate will probably be increasing slowly all the time, but then because you're creating new options, more people are gonna come, and then it's gonna be equalized. Those numbers are gonna be equalized at one point. Couple of things to finish up on. That was just 10 metrics that we decided are that I've been asked most during the calls that I have with VC funds. I not only work with fintech projects. One of my clients is in prop tech, one is agri-tech, one is blockchain, but then that is asked everywhere. In any direction, any industry, with any of the startup, those questions are asked all the time. And then this is just about your financials and your marketing and your sales. I haven't included anything about the market size. How big is the trend? There's no trend, and then there's a fund that wanted to strike about 3x to 4x on the investment. So if I'm investing $100,000, I want to get like 400 in 2 years. And then, important point. Funds are hoping that you will outwork the investment within 2 years. So they expect the investment and the cash they give you to last for 2 years, usually. If it's not a syndicated deal. Syndicated deal is when you have more than one fund. If you have one fund, a leading investor, he expects to give you cash, and he wants that cash to last for 2 years. If you're going to be out-burning that cash, and your financial predictions is about out-burning that cash within the first year, so your model is not right. You have to adjust it. You have to rebuild it for that cash to last for 2 years. So if you have a BlackRock coming and investing into you, they expect that money to last for a couple of years at least. And then usually BlackRock is the only one and a single investor. They're not really accepting any syndicated deals because they have 5 billion and they can invest as much as they would like to. 5 trillions, I apologize. 5 trillions under their management. Trillions, not billions. That's probably it. So be careful with your financials, understand your market, and be always thinking about your product to market fit. That's my suggestion. Guys, Q&A session could be in Russian, please.
Okay, in Russian? Okay, спасибо, David. Все-таки начну я, наверное, потому что очень интересная презентация. Я о многих метриках слышала, но о многих никогда даже не слышала. Вот у меня такой вопрос. Ты знаешь много компаний, стартапов в Украине, которые применяют все? Или хотя бы...
К сожалению, Лиз, такая ситуация, что ни один из моих клиентов и партнеров из Украины. У меня никого нет, кто бы работал из этой страны. Вот это... было предоставлено и основано на стартапе из Америки и стартапе из Великой Британии. И опять же, я повторюсь, что трекшн метрики не создаются за полгода, они не создаются за 3 месяца, они создаются за несколько лет. Естественно, у тебя должна быть какой-то бэкграунд и какая-то история, прежде чем ты начнешь создавать что-то внутри своей модели. Опять же, внутри финансовой модели бывают assumptions, да, какие-то assumptions, как перевести? Предположения, да, спасибо большое. У тебя бывают предположения. Чем меньше у тебя предположений, чем точнее твоя модель, тем ты круче. Тем легче тебе получить инвестицию.
А все же не среди твоих клиентов. Ты о ком-то слышал?
Что ты имеешь в виду, о ком-то слышал?
Кто-то, кто вот применяет много метрик в
да.
Украине.
А в Украине, наверное, подожди, в Украине, наверное, все-таки нет. Я подозреваю, что нет.
Ну вот я почему-то тоже.
Не знаю. Ребят, если вы слышали о каких-то суперкрутых ребятах, которые умеют создавать крутые финансовые модели для стартапов, то наверное. Ну, ребят, честное слово, я не слышал. Да, ребят, кстати, вот это то, что будет для вас делать Ernst, Deloitte. Вот если вы придете к ним и закажете у них финансовую модель, там будет в 100 раз больше всяких показателей, но вот это будет основной конвой вот этой вот, если вы будете заказывать у большой четверки.
Окей, спасибо, друзья, вопросы? Да?
Давид, а можешь нам дать пример, вот просто какой-то визуальный, наглядный? Условно говоря, есть компания, она каждый месяц делает, не знаю, там $100 тысяч оборота, у нее там $30 тысяч чистой прибыли, и она растет 2 раза в год последние там 2-3 года, ну неважно. Вот как бы VC делал valuation такой компании, или ты, например, как консультант по фандрейзингу, как бы ты считал цифру valuation для такой компании, вот исходя из тех метрик, которые ты назвал? Ну, просто приведи пример какой-то наглядный.
Valuation, ты прав, он основывается на многих из этих номеров. Он очень сильно зависит от того, что ты говоришь. И я так тебе скажу, если у тебя 100 тысяч revenue, у тебя 30 чистого профита, мне еще надо знать количество клиентов, daily, monthly use, мне надо знать, какой у тебя churn и какой retention. И тогда я примерно тебе скажу, что твой valuation около 1 миллиона. Вот мой пример. Ну, без этих чисел я не смогу сказать. В индустрии финтека не скажу. В стартапе мультипликатор я встречаюсь на сиде 2-3, наверное, такой. 2, 3, 4. Все ищут 50x. Я тоже. Где он, пока не знаю. Наверное, только в репле.
Спасибо. Еще вопросы, пожалуйста? Нет, тогда мы благодарим Давида.
Спасибо
большое.